Part 1 of my series on Jeff McBride, aka Don Kilam, is out. I can't thank you all enough for watching and sharing that video as much as you have so far, despite some pretty egregious technical difficulties the first time I uploaded it. But with that being said, I've decided to pivot the direction of how this part will be presented and include much less of the footage that you saw in Part 1. The bulk of this video will be formatted like the intro to Part 1, with background footage of Kilam and his pals, and it's intermixed with the images and clips I feel need to be included. If you haven't seen it, I implore you to go back and watch it. It's a bit long-winded, admittedly, but it's nearly impossible to review that much material again in just bullet points. As of now, no one has reached out regarding this video. Kilam shooters haven't arrived yet. Everything's fine and dandy. But my promise to you as the viewer is that I've done my research, I have evidence to back up all of my claims, and if something sounds ridiculous to you, it's not because I'm making this up. It's because this stuff is really that crazy. I decided to make this series in the first place because of just how wild this saga is. It's hard to believe figures like this actually exist, have a platform, and continue to peddle lie after lie to a congregation that just eats it alive. My opinion is my opinion, but my conclusions are entirely based on what the evidence shows. And unfortunately, it's not looking good for anyone mentioned here. If you don't think my conclusion is accurate, feel free to watch the over 500 videos, images, social posts, comments, blah 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 that I've gathered that I'll put in a Google Drive for now, but I'm not paying for that forever, so time is ticking. No one has more information on Don Kilam and his past ventures, including the Gifted Guardians, than I do, and that is a guarantee. If you're gonna hate on me, at least watch the whole video first. If anyone's involved and thinks that I bastardized this in any way and wishes to give their side of the story, some sort of insider info, whatever, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to clear the record for good. Heck, it doesn't even have to be here, just do it yourself. Or don't. That's fine too. Final note, if you're participating in my contest currently where whoever gets the most views on a TikTok, YouTube video, whatever, that's a clip of Part 1, this part, whatever, gets $100, clean cash. Doesn't matter. Just put YouTube Monkade and TikTok Monkade in the description. That's all that matters. Other than that, go crazy. So here it goes. Finally.
All right, Goofy, you're on thin ice right now. You're on thin ice, buddy. Come on, shape up.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did it. Yeah, we all know you did it. Okay, but we can get you off.
Let's take it back to summer 2023. Kilam's pivoting from his solo ventures, which, if you watch Part 1, were kind of all over the place, and he's looking for a rebrand. Somehow, someway, he ends up meeting 3 pals he feels will push him to the forefront of financial gurus and get his fledgling rap career off the ground finally.
Let's go.
Bars, I'm on Mars. Move, you're with a star. Blowing big pounds, sipping hard liquor. If that boy ain't getting...
After a few bumps in the road, and trust me, we'll get there, the Gifted Guardians is formed, and along with it, terrible AI advertisements like this one.
We're more than just a service provider. We're your trusted partners. We bring you an array of services designed with your absolute satisfaction in mind. Navigating our website is a breeze. With just a few clicks, you can access our events, make a purchase, and access any other special services we are offering. And that's not all. Our dedicated team is always ready to answer any questions you may have. Reach out to us via email at giftedguardians@gmail.com. Again, that's giftedguardians@gmail.com. Or give us a text at 480-573-4879. Again, that's 480-573-4879. Experience the Gifted Guardians difference today. We're excited to serve you. Gifted-Guardians.org. Protecting your generational dreams are our priority.
Now before we get into the world of the Gifted Guardians, what they did and what they claim to do, we're going to let them introduce themselves the way that they saw fit. Starting off with Don Kilam. Don Kilam has established himself as an entrepreneur, turning ideas into successful business ventures, and demonstrating the same creativity and drive that marks his music. Don Kilam's voice extends beyond his songs. He's a published author and a notable public speaker, using these platforms to share his insights and experiences. He has been recognized as a best-selling author and a credit guru, adding to his impressive repertoire. Wow, I'm surprised they got somebody to spell that right. Kilam's journey and success are a testament to his determination and hard work, making him a figure of inspiration for many. His story goes to show that with passion and perseverance, one can truly wear many hats and succeed in them all. Nolan Zander is a name that resonated with authority and expertise. Zander is not only an expert in secured party paperwork, but he is also renowned for his skills in navigating traffic court and his unique 15-minute hypnosis technique, aptly named the Hero's Journey. That's probably just psychedelics. Zander's prowess with secured party paperwork is unparalleled. From declarations and common law copyrights to the intricate genetic code biological copyright, his understanding and handling of these documents were impeccable. His clients always marveled at his proficiency in handling truth in commerce, not to mention his ability to assert that all accounts are prepaid with an affidavit. Chief Amir Zahir is an expert in a realm that many find mystifying. Private government, private contracts, spiritual contracts, the dichotomy of church versus state, unincorporated associations, and tribal governments. His vast knowledge and unwavering dedication makes him a respected figure in the global socio-political landscape. His expertise does not stop there. Chief Zahir has a unique understanding of spiritual contracts. He believes that these were the bedrock of our moral compass, guiding us in ways we may not always consciously understand. Minister Jason Mabe, not your ordinary minister, an acclaimed expert in estate planning, private trusts, and the intricacies of zero-coupon bonds. Minister Mabe spends his days counseling his congregation and his nights penning easy-to-understand guides on financial management. His expertise lay in helping individuals create a secure future for their families through effective estate planning and managing private trusts. Minister Mabe's story is one of dedication, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. His work continues to inspire and educate individuals, helping them secure a prosperous financial future. Make no mistake, these are the four main characters of our story, but their history is not well documented, to say the least. Keep in mind, Kilam's Gifted Guardians was only active from roughly September 2023 to November 17th, 2023. So we'll have to look back at them individually, both before they joined forces and after the fact. This is, of course, way easier said than done. Master hypnotist, although there's no way anyone is going to let this guy be in the room with them unconscious, and entrepreneur extraordinaire, Nolan Zander, has been AFK for 3 months from his YouTube channel. Although that leaves us plenty of time to catch up on his 11-part magnum opus, Word War, which consists of over 6 hours of him talking to the camera about something. I don't know. I'm not watching it. Zander had an extensive decades-long run in the U.S. Navy, which I can only imagine ended for him after an alleged incident in which he used gasoline to burn his house down for the insurance money, only to blame severe burns on his hands and face as a result of working on his car's radiator. I'm not quite sure if he got away from this scot-free, nor do I really care. All I know is that his decisions led him down the path towards financial wisdom and right into Don Kilam's hands. I wouldn't necessarily call that a good career change, but I digress. Amir Zahir claims to specialize in all things tribal, spiritual, polyamorous, that kind of thing. The only thing I can show you in good conscience is his now defunct podcast on all things poly, the Polygenesis Show. His IMDb page, and that's it. This guy gets a series pass because a lot of the content he's produced away from Don Kilam contains his family, specifically very young children. I just can't put that on blast, but you can look for yourself. Regardless, do not harass his family under any circumstance. And lastly, there's Jason Mabe.
You're becoming very popular, man. People, they can't wait to have brunch with J Mabe, man.
I know. Well, I've been saying that for years, I've been a celebrity my whole life. It's just everybody else didn't know it yet.
Unfortunately for us, his social media presence is long gone. Not to fear, I've still got some of it, but it's not like I can just pull up his Instagram and show it to you. It was a pretty smart move to just Control-Alt-Delete the digital footprint, but unfortunately his associates didn't follow suit. That's where we get gems like this.
How y'all doing? This is Jay May. Y'all have to forgive me, I'm not too great with the phone videos, but I'll show y'all why I like to rock it with Don Kilam. Autograph. 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 He cares about his people. Y'all need to tap into him. Peace and love. Appreciate you, Don.
Before we begin discussing the unbelievably chaotic and bizarre saga that the Gifted Guardians was, trust me, I promise we're almost there. We need to discuss the project that started it all, likeneverbefore.org. I have no idea when the site first popped up. Attempting to look at it today is not looking so hot. But going off the Internet Archive, the first snapshot was taken on July 23rd, 2023, the year of our Lord. Like Kilam's earlier websites, it features unbelievably expensive consultations with the man himself, only $2,000 for 30 minutes, and a whole lot of other filler. This is an example of Don Kilam's main services and offerings in the present day, signaling a dramatic shift in the timeline. We go from Kilam's glory days of being the all-knowing financial Jesus to just a consultant-like figure for estate planning and the works. All that being said, there's not much to discuss from this era or its barebones website, just a few things to mention before we move on. First, it's clear that these four used this platform to test the waters and went into more extreme aspects of the fake sovereign movement they so desperately want to believe in. If you still refuse to watch part 1, here's a 1-minute explanation of the sovereign movement. Sovereign citizen is a catch-all phrase referring to a variety of anti-government individuals and groups who share some common beliefs and behaviors. The organizations to which many sovereign citizens belong have a variety of names: Moorish Nation, the Aware Group, blah 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 blah. The same views may be embraced by freemen, freemen of the land, Sons of Liberty, and Aryan Nation. Many sovereign citizens may not affiliate with any of these groups. In one way or another, though, all sovereign citizens, whether tied to an organization or not, adhere to a view that the existing American governmental structure, including the courts and law enforcement, is illegitimate and that they, the sovereign citizens, retain an individual common law identity, exempting them from the authority of those fraudulent government institutions. Sovereign citizens may issue their own driver's licenses and vehicle tags, create and file their own liens against government officials who cross them, question judges about the validity of their oaths, challenge the applicability of traffic laws to them, and, in extreme cases, resort to violence to protect their imagined rights. They speak an odd quasi-legal language and believe that by not capitalizing names and by writing in red and using certain catchphrases, they can avoid any liability in our judicial system. They even think that they can lay claim to vast sums of money held by the United States Treasury, based on the premise that the government has secretly pledged them as a security for the country's debts. Based on these beliefs and a twisted understanding of the Uniform Commercial Code, they try various schemes that they think discharge them from the responsibility of their debts. Although the myriad sovereign citizen groups and individuals not tied to a particular group all have their own idiosyncrasies in their beliefs, they tend to share some common ideas. The first is that there are two classes of citizens within the United States. One class is sovereign or de jure citizens, or original citizens of the states. The second class, first created by the 14th Amendment, is federal or U.S. citizens. Sovereign citizens enjoy all the rights of the Constitution, but federal citizens do not. Federal citizens, the sovereigns believe, have bargained away their freedoms by accepting benefits from the United States government. Much of what sovereigns do is intended to rescind or denounce that federal citizenship and reclaim their common law sovereign citizen status with all its rights. That helps explain why they refuse to get driver's licenses or register vehicles, reject Social Security, avoid using zip codes, and may not pay taxes, because those are all forms of contracting with the government and accepting the lesser class of federal citizenship. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, here's a few examples they toned down before the Gifted Guardians. One showing fake national ID cards, that allow you to supposedly drive without a license, get exempt from taxation, you know, that kind of thing.
We got the national ID. I know you put them both in there. Yeah, hold on, I'm about to take a picture. Yeah.
Here's them discussing the birth certificate trust phenomenon.
Which one?
From the top.
All right. The state's a corporation. So they take the information, the application for the birth certificate, and they deposit it. They make a copy of it, certify it, and register it. Now they send it over to Vital Statistics because that's the holding company. That's who's holding the records, the Vital Statistics. It's the vitals of the state. The state needs them to operate. Then the state takes that copy and sends it to the Treasury to create an account for you, which they give you a receipt of it, which is the short form birth certificate. Now they take that birth certificate and deposit it to a trust company. That trust company sends it over to their holding company, which is the clearinghouse. So this is where it's being held at the DTC. And then from your Social Security number, it has to go through them to access the Treasury so that the government can approve it. So this is the debtor, the creditor. He issues the credit, but it is the debtor because he always receives the debts. He sends the promissory notes. So this number is always the employee. So if you create your own business, regardless of which form you do the business, now the SSN is your employee, so you can pay it based off of what stuff you need. And you can issue the credit and debit just like banks and stuff do to access the funds. And that's how you create the trust. SSN, BC, Certificate of Live Birth. It's almost like having God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, Trinity. Then of course you got the Certificate of Live Birth, got your upper and lowercase name, it's a land deed. Then you've got your estate, which is your short form birth certificate with the numbers on it. And then you got your SSN, straw man, with the Social Security numbers on it. That's your operating company. So you got to put your operating company into a trust that you create. And then it works for the trust. Then it's the employee of the trust. And then you own all of it. The trust is a bank, so you can do the same thing the banks do with issuing securities and accessing the treasures that are stored for you in heaven. I hope that makes sense.
That made perfect sense, bro.
And there's a lot more material to show, but most of it is just complete nonsense. So I'll leave you with this.
If you're in front of a judge or something like that, you're not really concerned or worried about him because you know he's trying to tell you what man's law is, and God's already told you what his laws were.
Right.
And stand on that. If you stand on that, there's nothing that they can do.
That's right.
How can they got the Bible right there in front of you.
That's right.
So obviously they've got to believe in it.
That's right.
And the first thing they do is they want to see if you're a heathen and see if you'll swear on it, because it tells you in the book, don't swear on it.
That's right.
Not to swear on anything. Affirm on it. And then he's got your back.
So don't swear, affirm.
Affirm on it.
Affirm on it. That's tight.
That's the first trick they try to get you with.
Right.
Then they do the name thing and everything else.
That's
But if
tight.
they're charging you for something, well, how much does it cost? How much does it cost for me to speed? They charging me with it, but you know, they didn't tell me how much it costs. I might want to speed every day, and I just go ahead and pay them every day.
Right.
You know? We don't ever think about that. We get charged for something.
I can just pay you.
And it's an order of the court. The court's got an EIN number, so it's a dead entity. So how can it order me to do anything? But you have to be an honorable person, not going out bothering other people and infringing on other people's rights. And if you're that type of person, then you'll know how to stand on it and you'll be left alone. As long as you're not out bothering anybody trying to do anything crazy or crooked, then you're fine.
Right.
And if everybody acted like that, we wouldn't need money in the first place, because then you go to work and you do what you like to do every day for 8 hours. I'm going to go do what I like to do every day for 8 hours. If I need your service, you don't charge me for it, and I don't charge for any of my services.
and love. It's your boy Don Kilam. I'm in the building in Orlando, Florida with the Gifted Guardians, with Jason Mabe, all the way from North Carolina, man. He drove down here. And we're going to bring you a spectacular podcast today, talking about what we do, protecting generational dreams.
That's right. We're here to talk about estate planning, how to protect your assets, and how to protect your family assets. And let's let Don tell us a little bit how he got started in all this.
Let me preface this part by saying that some of these dates may be inaccurate. There's assumptions that I had to make that I'll disclaim when I bring them up, but a lot of this is shrouded in obscurity and mystery. I'll try to keep my composure, explain things objectively, and be as thorough as possible while matching our ever-shortening attention spans. In short, the Gifted Guardians were a group that advertised their ability to allow its customers to reach sovereign status and teach them how trusts, unincorporated associations, and a large variety of legal loopholes could be used to their advantage to, quote, protect their generational dreams. I've been debating for weeks how to outline and tell this story the best that I can. I'm working with the material I have here to present this to you, and unfortunately as it came to be, a lot of this stuff was taken down. But not to fear, I'll let you decide what you think of these guys. My opinion, and it's not a pretty one, I'll try to keep to myself for the most part. Let's begin. Step back to September 2023. LikeNeverBefore.org has gone belly up, and Kilam once again needs to pivot. He creates a podcast called Dreamkeepers Radio, possibly as a way to clean up the style of videos he was known for producing years prior and give them a makeover to seem more professional and validate the things he says this time.
Be quiet. The questions might get answered. We haven't even started the class yet. Everybody, we got Calvin. Come on, man. Calvin Raphael. Come on, man. We're asking questions already.
Only difference being now is he's using the facade of rented podcast rooms and suits in Atlanta and Orlando. Moving on, the first episode of the podcast, which is still available on Spotify by the way, releases with Don Kilam and Jason Mabe. Titled, Protecting Generational Dreams, Why Your Name is a Business, they basically repeat over and over again to make your name a business. What they're really saying to do is just create an LLC.
So if someone's starting off that's just now learning with us, what's the first thing that you would tell them to do? Like same way with today. What's the advice you gave him today?
Make his name a business.
Make his name a business.
That's the very first thing that you should do.
And how do we go about that?
Well, they already gave you a name and number. That's the Social Security number. So go and open up a business bank account with that name and number. And then now you've got a bank account that shows that name is a business, but you're using a business bank account instead of a personal bank account. So of course, then you can start to use some of your family expenses as a family business expense and write those things off. So that's the easiest thing for somebody to first start off and do.
But if you know anything about the government, having an LLC will tell them a lot more about you and your finances if and only if you manage it the way you're supposed to. On the flip side of that, it does open up the potential to hide assets, get business loans you probably wouldn't qualify for just personally, and a whole other bunch of hoopla that no one cares about. Don Kilam really carries the conversation into a whirlwind of familiar topics for himself, making claims such as, unless you hurt someone, it's not a real crime.
Court, traffic tickets, as long as there's not a victim, it's not a real crime.
That's right. I mean,
it's commercial.
Yeah, everything is about money, commercial and stuff. I mean, they charge you. Ain't that a financial term, charge? So yeah, they want to charge you.
That's
it. They want to get a little bit of money.
Bond money and court fines go to a supposed judges association in Puerto Rico.
You know, I don't know what the Amish code is.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where they get their law from.
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked into it.
But just like Jehovah's Witnesses, they got their own. So Freemasons.
Oh yeah, all these are just business structures.
That's it. Private.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not anything wrong to
the Judges Association.
Yeah.
That's in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
It's traced back. Anytime you deposit money into a court, it gets, you trace it back. Whether that's why you should use a check or a money order so you can trace it.
Oh yeah.
It gets deposited into the Judges Association in Puerto Rico. You bring this up in court, you get that case dismissed.
Yeah. They don't want to talk about that.
Put that under affidavit of truth.
Yeah.
It's clear Jason Mabe is kind of just a yes man here. He makes what appears to be smart and thought out points at times, and at others he just kind of nods his head. He just kind of goes with the flow. I also want to preface, they sort of know what they're talking about, and they sort of don't. I'll make sure to highlight things that are reasonable along with the chaos.
You just have to change your perception about the way that you look at it. Because, I mean, you know, I've got a company now, and I buy toilet paper for that company for my employees and stuff. If my family is my business, then can I buy toilet paper and use it as a business expense for my family too? Yeah.
Absolutely you can. You can also, totally theoretically by the way, put your kids in separate little trailer homes and record that you pay them much less than you really do to disguise them as being in poverty. Who knows what you could do with that? Oh, I don't know. Evade taxes, get financial aid you don't qualify for. You know, whatever. So now that you've seen the highlights of episode 1, I'll let you form your own conclusions. But if you're like me when I first discovered a YouTube short that led me all the way here back in November, you might be wondering what even is it that these guys did or claimed to do? How are they making money up until the point that they disappeared? Well, I found my answer, and it's a bit complicated and it's pretty boring, but pretty much it was split up between a handful of different things and several revenue streams. We'll get back to all of that in a second and go back to more episodes of the Dream Keepers podcast, but I'll start by explaining a couple things. As we've established already, the 4 members of the Gifted Guardians are all self-proclaimed members of the Sovereign movement, and that's what they've built their careers off of online. It seems because of the negative association around the Sovereign movement, probably because it's all garbage, they've moved away from flaunting it with the previous neverbefore.org and are now speaking about it indirectly, presenting their opinions and fallacies as matter of fact. Taking a look at their website, which is long gone at this point, they've got t-shirts, a book, overpriced consultation services, and a service known as Status Correction, headed by the jack of all trades, Nolan Zander. Because the site was taken down, and I wasn't smart enough to archive all of it, I can't verify how much the consultations or this service in particular cost. The Status Correction was either $1 or $2 grand from memory, but who cares? The concept is somewhat complicated, and while I could explain it, I think I've got a better idea. Jason Thornton is a financial advisor with a pretty popular channel. He's been a financial advisor verifiably for over 15 years and does a great job discussing the concept. His explanation is vague and brief because the process itself is vague in nature, i.e., it's bull. I recommend you watch at least the first 30 minutes or so of this guy's video if you're curious. It's linked in the description as always.
What is status correction? What's going on? So for those of you who are unaware, who haven't been through this world of Moorish nationals and sovereign citizens, status correction basically means, or it's a concept because there's nothing in reality. None of this is actually based in reality. It's all a daydream, a figment of their imagination, and alternative reality where they like to role play as if they're some sort of kings and queens of their own country. But the concept of status correction is that these individuals believe that there is some kind of legal process that they can access if they file the right paperwork. They then put themselves in a classification that is beyond a regular U.S. citizen. If you file the right paperwork with the right court, you do the right thing, you do exactly what they tell you to do for a fee. Now understand, they're charging you to teach you how to do this status correction. They're not just doing it for the culture, they're doing it for their pocketbooks too, in my opinion. But if you file the right paperwork, you do the right things, you do all the right steps, you are no longer a regular U.S. citizen. You are now stepping into the area of, they're either gonna call it a national, they'll call it a sovereign, or they'll call it private. There's different language that they'll use based on the group that they're in, but it all means the same thing. And if you're a sovereign, or a private citizen or a national, you don't have to follow the same laws that us cornball US citizens have to follow. It's a total different thing. Total different thing. And my issue is that for a very long time, when I would see these videos, when I would see these people, I would say to myself, what is up? What's up with this Morris science stuff? I mean, people get this Morris science stuff and they destroy their lives. Why would anybody fall for this crap?
So here's where I have to get real, folks. There's an ungodly amount of footage created in the brief span the Gifted Guardians operated. They really knocked out a lot during their time together, and it's impressive how a group of people can just blabber misinformation on and on and on and on. I've watched most of it, and I made what I have available in that Google Drive, but for the sake of brevity, clarity, and just your own mental health, I'm not going over everything here. If there's enough demand, I could easily make 2 or 3 more of these videos, but I encourage you with caution to watch some of their material and develop your own opinions adjacent to mine. Heck, if you can follow that advice and find some kind of success without finding yourself convicted of some white-collar crime, please do. I would love to see it happen. Anyone that knows their stuff in the fake finance guru game knows that you gotta make yourself look legitimate. Don Kilam's been trying to do this himself since he started peddling the sovereign hoopla way back when. So naturally, the group employed similar tactics to what he's used in the past. It goes deeper than botted comments, rented podcast rooms, and wearing nice clothes. That's why it came as no surprise that these guys had 2 interviews while they were together. The first was on iHeartRadio show Vigilante's Radio Live on October 6, 2023. This is probably just a front, allowing artists, groups, etc. that want to look legitimate a way to pay for a decent sounding interview without being looked at as a complete fraud. I say this because Don Kilam has been on the program 3 times previously, at least from what I was able to find, and the Instagram page as well as the iHeartRadio page for Vigilantes Radio have very little engagement.
Hello, what is going on, guys? Welcome to another incredible episode of Vigilantes Radio Live right here on iHeartRadio, and I'm your host, Dini. We have a very special guest, yes, with an S, and with that, let's welcome Gifted Guardians to the show. Hello, welcome.
Peace and love. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Peace. How you doing, TJ?
We're all doing quite well, Demetrius. Thank you so much for hosting this, hosting us, the Gifted Guardians, today.
Absolutely. I'm excited. So guys, tell us about the moment that inspired the formation of Gifted Guardians. You know, how did this diverse quartet come together to champion generational dreams?
We'll let Nolan take the lead with this one.
Well, we did. I went to one of Don Kilam's things over in Atlanta, Georgia, and we did start having a little conversation. And he did want to get some more folks together and, you know, start a tribe of like-minded people, because everything that we're doing is a lot, right? So you cannot necessarily eat an entire elephant in one sitting. You're going to need some help. So we have Don Kilam, who's taken the lead with all of his books and all of his knowledge, and being able to package it and put it into a easy to read methodology that solves a lot of problems. And it all starts with the entrepreneurship. It all starts with the baseline for, you know, we talk about secure party creditor, or we talk about secure party, we talk about the creditor, we talk about, you know, birth certificate monies, you know, that lottery ticket that everybody thinks that they own, right? But we're telling people that, you know, we're here to help you, but we have to establish a foundation for people first. So for us to come together to take smaller bites out of the elephant, to help each other, to take the specific roles, to niche down a little bit so that everybody can share the load without taking on an entire dump truck full of everything. You know what I mean?
The second interview with Yaya Diamond was conducted in video format. I took some clips from that in particular and put it in the trailer. However, it's also admittedly nothing special. It seems she is legitimate though, and it's definitely the more ridiculous of the two interviews. I just want to give you a taste of how they interact with each other, their personalities, and give you a laugh or two along the way. From a visibly stolen Don Kilam to Xander getting a little zesty, here's a taste of that one.
But, you know, when somebody like Don Kilam is talking to you and he's got stacks of cash sitting in front of him in his lap, right, you tend to pay a little bit more attention to this guy, and he's got the money right there in front of him. It's like, you know, he's talking all this stuff that I hear all these gurus talking about, and all these gurus are sitting in their basement, right, on their you know, third rundown crappy ass couch with holes in it, talking like, you know, you need to buy my book because I'm a player. It's like, you ain't no player with a freaking holy couch. What, are you taking that thing to church? Come on, how holy is that thing? Oh Jesus, we're all in this little planet to have fun, to chase our dreams, to do what we want to do rather than what we're told to do, right? So I came into this because I like the truth, and I know that it hurts a lot of people, but I don't think you can be happy without the truth. It doesn't work that way, and that's why I'm in it.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Chief of Mayor helped us establish our own government. Me and Jason have our own government. We Gifted Guardians is its own government. I hung out with Chief of Mayor, birds of a feather flock together. Hung out with him less than 90 days. He's a landowner now. I own land. That goes in part with something called the Abraham Covenant. Only the chosen people of God can actually own land in America. The government doesn't own land.
You can sit on the sidelines, but you know, only 10% of the people actually act on the information that we're putting out, right? And even less of that percentage is going to be successful people. Some people will apply it and then they'll point the finger at Don Kilam or Chief Amir or me or Jason and say, that stuff don't work. Well, what did you do? Did you follow the steps step by step? Well, mostly. Well, then that's a no. It didn't work because you didn't do it right. I almost did. Well, then that's a no. I'm sorry. If you understand the difference between a yes and a no, that's what I'm looking for, not a, well, you see what happened was, no, that's a no then. Thank you very much. You didn't apply it, but you're pointing the finger at us and saying that we don't know what we're talking about.
I've got 3 sons, and that's what got me started on it. I know that, of course, after structuring your family business, there's a lot of different avenues that you can go with LLCs and holding companies and unincorporated associations, but some people jump right into that and they have no idea which way to go whenever they should start, like the Bible says, in the beginning, make your name a business.
And just to add to that, I was able to remain anonymous with an unincorporated association with Jason setting it up. I got access to it, got a card and everything, but I'm still able to remain anonymous. So just want to throw that out there.
You know, I realized that there's 2 governments that operates in the United States. There's a United States government, and then there's a tribal government, indigenous tribal government. And so if you don't belong to either one of those 2, then, you know, either you're going to be a citizen of the United States, 14th Amendment slave, or you're going to be free. And so I had to start looking at that. How did America get started? Because if America is in a corporation, how did they get started? They found land. They got land. They declared their independence. They had a constitution that shows how their corporation or their body politic is going to be ran. It's the same thing as with us. Your land, Abrahamic covenant of salvation. It deals with land, real estate, being able to bury your dead, being able to, you know, live free. And so once you find a piece of land, and I would just recommend 5 acres or more, because with 5 acres, you can have a hamlet, all right, which is a small unincorporated township that you could create that's own self-governed, okay, when you own your land. Once you have your land, you declare your independence. You write a constitution.
Are you wearing your bank account with some Gucci, with some $40,000 watch, right? Where's your money at? Right? Where's your bank account? What does it say? Does it say minus 500,000? But you're driving a Benz with some rims on it?
Anybody can chime in on this. It's easy to say, okay, start a company, do this, make your name a business, get the LLC, get a trust. But what about, like I said in the beginning, all of those people that lost their money, lost their business, lost everything? Where should they begin? It's a journey, and I know that. It's a journey, and sometimes the journey can be really huge because they're not taking it in little tiny pieces. They're looking at the entire thing. And of course, that's what we're here to do. We're here to show you different pieces of a big, corporation or a big thing that you need to be doing. But again, how can they begin?
I would say, anybody booked the flight before, right? They ask 3 questions. And you can apply those same 3 questions to your life. Where are you going? Right? Or where are you at right now? Where are you going? And how fast you want to get there? How do we see ourselves? You have to visualize. If you can't vision yourself and where you're trying to go, you're not going to get there. Visualize your family. Visualize all that. How do you want your life to look? We were taught when we were young, what do you want to be when you grow up? Not how do you want to live? See, those are 2 different things.
Jason.
You can find me on the Gifted Guardian site through Don, or just search my name. I'm very popular. It's just everybody else don't know it yet.
I hear that, Jason. Go.
Google me. Google me.
Yep. Nolan.
Yeah,
you know what? I hope that Nolan didn't do no hypnotizing stuff on us, because then we just gonna all go berserk after this.
Girl, you the only one hypnotized me.
There is no way in hell.
I'm about to go eat some Cheetos.
The fire ones. Gotta have that spicy. That's what I do. Hey girl, I'm spicy. I got the fuel. Got my hot sauce. So,
thank you so much for being here, guys. And November 11th, we're going to have the information in the description box wherever you may be watching today, so that you can probably be a part of this. I say don't miss out. When the opportunity comes like this, you just don't want to pass it up. It's going to be one of those things you'll be like, daggone it, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And you know what? Those things, they shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. They should be, look, I'm going to go ahead and check this out and see if it'll work for me. And usually it will.
All right, peace and love, man. We appreciate everybody coming down to Atlanta, man. I got the Gifted Guardians in the building. I got Jason Mabe in the building with his tribe behind me. Y'all see his tribe, man. We got Jackson, we got Aiden, we got Braden, right? All right, Aiden and Braden, that rhymes, man. You sure he ain't yours, man?
I don't think so.
I got Chief. You can introduce your consort, man.
My wife Jasmine here, and this is my beautiful mother sitting right here in the front. You know you made it when your mother come out.
Yeah, let's get a round of applause for his mama showing up. Let's go. I got Nolan Zander in the building, man. Let us know who's with you, Nolan. Who you got rocking with you?
I got my wife Natasha. She's in the background.
And I just want to thank everybody for coming in. A lot of people came from a lot of places. I heard Michigan. I heard Virginia. I heard California. Hawaii. Shout out to Hawaii. She knows she's a Hawaiian. New York City. New York. Shout out. We got Harlem and Queens. What you say?
Harlem, not Queens.
Harlem and Queens.
Oh, Queens?
No, not you, bro.
Oh, okay. Harlem and Queens.
Not you. We talking about them. It's about them
okay.
now. Memphis in the building.
Memphis
yes,
in the
Mr.
house.
Ross is from Memphis, man. Yeah. Anybody else from anywhere else, man? Arizona. I did hear Arizona. Let's go, man. New Orleans, man.
New Orleans.
So, man, I just want to appreciate it, man. Y'all, it's time, effort, energy, just to come up. And I hope that we can, it'll be an enlightening experience for you. We're going to have a panel discussion. And we're also gonna leave it open to your questions. You know, we don't have anything scripted for you at all. You know, we just came here to show up and show out. Whoever you believe in, I believe Source goes by many names. So whoever you believe in, I ask that you bring them down with you today. You know, may they bring you guidance and clarity. A lot of hard work goes into trying to bring you a certain message to show you that truly prosperity is your divine birthright. All you got to do is truly believe. And that's the main message is, man, once you believe something, the universe will conspire to make it true for you. And that's what I need y'all to understand. There's no type of government means control means mind, man. These are invisible minds. Demographics is the graph of demons. It's all invisible, man. So life is all about what you truly desire in your life. What are your goals? What are you rising up to every day? You know, all these other things are just curved lines and dots. Paperwork game is not even real, man. You know, I can create a piece of paper right now and the dog is not gonna listen to it. A dog is not gonna, simple as that, man. But y'all can take off, man. Whatever y'all wanna say, man.
We're here because we did the research. We did the studying. We found the stuff that didn't make sense, and we made it make sense. We know that everybody's lazy. Hell, I'm lazy. After a fashion, okay? Everybody's lazy, but they're also too busy. Too busy working for less than the money that you need for every bill that you have. Thanks to Jason May, he clarified a lot of stuff. And he put it down in a book called
Check, please.
Check, please. That's it.
Check, please. There you go.
Check, please.
Who's got the book? Hold them up.
All the VIPs have
Right.
the book.
We got you.
Hold them up for the camera. Hold them up for the camera. Yeah, let's go.
So you're not going to find that information anywhere else. All the gurus that are out there, I know they're trying. And they're trying to help. Trying, right? But they hit walls too. Can they pass by? Can they break through that barrier? And the answer right now is absolutely not.
You know, you might get it for free. It might be the key that you may need. This is how Nolan and Jason met at an Atlanta event last year.
We stayed in touch with each other.
Nolan was Jason's teacher, and now the teacher has surpassed the master, and that's what we want to see. You know, I don't ever want to see nobody below me. We can all eat together, man.
You got these three in the background. They're supposed to take it up.
Oh man, listen. I don't even want them talking. Y'all feel stupid. You know, listen. The Junior Guardians are in tune, man. This is the Junior Guardians. Be looking for it, man.
Look, what y'all reading?
Trusting a limited liability company for asset protection for sovereignty by Don Kilam.
Spiritual security, navigation through 508, C1A, and opting out Social Security by Don Kilam.
Trusting a limited liability company for asset protection for dummies by Don Kilam.
You want to give him a shout out? Y'all shout out.
Shout out Don, man.
Shout out Don.
And what are y'all authenticating? A certified copy of a birth certificate. So you tell me, why would you authenticate a copy? The first rule is you can only control what you create. Did you create that birth certificate? When you have a tribal entity, we can create our own documents. That's what you authenticate, your tribal birth certificate. What do Amish people use? Do you know? You've heard of Amish people? So y'all know I'm not making this up. Do they go to jail? How many Amish people y'all seen in jail? They don't use no social.
Jewish.
How many Jewish people you see in jail? They don't use a social. They're not using no birth certificate. You're using their signs and their symbols.
They operate as a community.
As a community.
Common unity. And this is the problem because we don't want to be unified. So when they took Yeshua up to be crucified, they took him where? To Rome.
Hey, give me the mic, because I want y'all to hear my nationality. I want y'all to write it down. I want y'all to write my nationality down in English. Is anybody here proficient in English? Hey, you push that back over.
Yeah.
Anybody, y'all made A's in English? Who made A's in English? You made A's in English? Spell this for me. Y'all ready for my nationality? Y'all ready? Go ahead and write that down. Can you put that in words? You can try. I'll be like, that's not it.
Right.
It's, I don't know what side of Memphis you on though, man. When I'm coming from St. Louis, that's where I stop and get weed, man. It's right here. I was fortunate enough I grew up in the area. I've seen Amish people. Like, who are these people, Mom? Why they won't talk to me? I can go to their store and shop, but they won't talk to me. I can't talk to their girls, nothing, you know? And my dad would be like, they don't shave, boy, you don't want them girls. Hey, you don't need no paperwork to be established correctly at all. You know, and that's how the mob ran. The mob was a structured organization. They got hit with RICO charges. That means they're a criminal organization. You know,
but they still can't bring them down.
You don't need paperwork, man. What's understood don't need to be explained. Paperwork is for them because they don't understand the ethers. They don't. It's an art form to them.
It's magic.
Does that make sense?
It makes sense in the understanding of everything you said is logical.
You know, before me and Jason put anything on paperwork, we was understood and had to be explained.
I understand. I mean, I get that part. My main thing is that within the venues of, at least how I see it in my head, inside the United States, you have two venues.
All right, so I want you to understand, we teach private banking. And private banking is outside the venues of the United States. So you think private banking, you think international. Because you got to think about when we talk about copyrights, right? How's your name copyright? Is it on the state level, federal level, or international level? How are we talking? So this is how y'all got to maneuver. You got to understand, you're already moving where your name's already copywritten in the state level. So if you want to learn how to start moving correctly, you need to learn how to get it on the federal level and international level. That's how you take claim. Because they get their funding from the feds. They get their funding from internationally. If you understand how the money works.
Yep.
That makes sense?
For international banking purposes, you have to understand that the United States was quitclaim through the Bretton Woods Act. It was quitclaim. So
who said
the United States doesn't even own
This is the first time I heard
anything,
that, boy.
Right?
I ain't never heard that one.
It belongs to the United Nations. The IMF is a division of the
Yes.
United Nations according to Black's Law Dictionary.
So with this right here. Peace and love. You're now rocking to the sounds and vibrations of your boy, Don Kilam. Also known as Malik Kilam, as always. Prosperity is your divine birthright.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
What's good? Minister May. Hey, sorry to be a bad influence. I said we got the youth in the building, man. I'm smoking on some herbal blessing.
That's why I'm trying to teach my three to try to work together.
Bro, he been doing an excellent job. He been working, getting us to work together.
Yeah.
And helping us work together. Yeah, man.
All my life.
Definitely got something great. 18. And how old is Jackson?
Jackson's 20.
Aiden's 18 and Jackson's 20. And Jackson was the one that showed me his check stub, right?
Yeah.
He was proud. He was proud of his check stub, y'all. I'm gonna have to post it. Why was he proud of his? He's online right now. He said we're all family. Shout out to Jackson. Why are we so happy about his check stub?
No taxes taken out.
No taxes. I love that, man. He understood it. He understood the assignment.
He made his name a business, so now he's going to take care of all.
He made his name a business. Congratulations, man. He understands the assignment completely.
Aiden's name is a business.
Yep. Oh wow.
Where you card?
18, name a business. I just made my name a business in 2018.
This one?
He made his name a business at 18.
Yeah, look. See it right there? Can you see that?
That's lit. That's lit.
It's Aiden Wayne Mabe doing business as?
Aiden Wayne Mabe.
No, not Wayne. That's my middle name. It's
Hey, so he got a business card already.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
18.
I just got mine last week from your pops.
I'm pretty sure Jackson and Nathan's gonna come too.
What, to Atlanta?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Jackson said he wanted to be chief of security.
That's cool. Y'all can be chief of security. They can listen to you. That'd be different.
Yeah.
Hey, wouldn't that be different?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We got 4 security guards already. I had Nolan schedule that. I'm paying them a day before the event. So y'all be the boss. Y'all be ahead of that.
Gotcha, yeah.
We need to get y'all them little earpieces.
Yeah, the earpiece.
That's what they want. They want to walk around talking their hands.
The government can't go against the private contract. So understand this: the government can't go against the private contract. So long as we got private contracts for security, you're licensed to kill.
That's right.
Yeah, you'll get away with it and everything. You're there to protect private property.
Don't mess with the gifted guardians.
That's right. That's right. When I hit college, I was like, I left the chunky chicks on the block. You know what I mean? I didn't want nobody to see me with the chunky girls. You know? I only call the chunky girls when we see. Aiden don't know nothing about this, man. Back in the day, we had free nights and weekends. We used to get 1,000 minutes a month on the cell phone.
Dang.
Yeah, so I call the chunky chicks with the free nights and minutes. I wasn't about to waste my 1,000 minutes. You know, she had to call me at 7. Game called Snake on there.
Yeah.
All they did was light up green, and the letters was black.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about? You remember the big ones, the little Zach Morris phones on Saved by the Bell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chunky. We couldn't afford those.
That's what it looked like right here. Hello?
Yeah. And when it comes back to making that name a business, this is what's going on. You're considered dead. You're a corporation. Corpse means a dead body. You're considered dead in the eyes of the law. What's that called? Silver mortuus?
Yes, I think so.
Silver mortuus means civil death. It's the loss of all or almost all civil rights by a person. Anytime you're going in, you're claiming that name. That's what's going on. Silver mortuus.
Yeah, a person. Per the son, fictitious entity.
Per son, one son.
That's right.
You can only be saved through the Father, right?
That's right. The judge is acting like he's your daddy.
Who's your daddy?
That's right.
You gotta understand, because it's a parent who rents. United States is a federal corporation. Even when you go by the title, everything gets title. When you go by the title Mr. or Mrs., that's a slave title. Make them call you Emperor.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I'll make them call me Malik. Malik means king. Make them call me Don.
Yeah.
Everybody should know what a Don is, man.
That's right.
Then if you're dyslexic, you're still gonna call me Malik, because I go by Malik Kilam.
I like to look at him and ask him the question, who's your daddy? I am.
You can only be saved through the Father, so call me your Faja.
And not to avoid paying taxes or say that
Right.
you're not going to pay taxes, but you're avoiding them based off of the rules. So, that's the thing, is there are rules that we're going by, and we're just structuring ourselves around those rules to benefit ourselves as much as possible.
It's in that book you was holding.
Yeah, I gotta read that.
Yeah.
The capitalizing namepreneur.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right in there.
Yeah.
Yup, that's it.
Right there. Everybody needs to get it. That's a good book. It's a real good book.
I know, I like it. I was proud of myself.
That's a good book for people to start with, and then of course, $1 Million Worth of Game is really good too. All of them are.
All right, man. I'm gonna call it a night, man. Peace and love to the people. Go to gifted-guardians.org. We're still working on it, man, but you can get your tickets. There will be services coming up. There will be memberships. We're working on getting memberships. We're gonna make them low for the people as well. We're working on making sure we come to y'all once a week with a webinar or a podcast for our members. We're pushing out courses. It's gonna be easy to access, easy to use, prosperity at your fingertips. That's what we're working on, man. Full upgrades. We're investing man hours and dollars and labor and bringing something new to the people, man.
That's right.
I
everybody.
appreciate you, man. I finally got a business partner.
I got you, man. We're gonna get this thing structured good for everybody.
Yeah. And he brought his crew with him, man. So shout out to Aiden, shout out to Jackson, man. Shout out to the Maves, man.
We appreciate you, man.
Hey, you're gonna get made with the Maves, man. As simple as that. Get made with the Maves, man. I'm gonna continue doing my thing, man.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do it together, man. Make this thing great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you. I'm gonna see you tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, man.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow, man. We
Peace
doing
and
our
love.
thing. We out here like Rolling Stones out here, touching all the nations of the earth, man.
That's right.
All right, peace and love.
Peace and love, man.
When the Gifted Guardians left Atlanta after their seminar in November that I just showed you a bit ago, it seems the group was optimistic about the future. We can only be left to guess what happened between them, and I'm not going to make my own assumptions. What we do know is sometime between the night of November 16th and November 17th, Kilam announced that the upcoming seminar in LA, which was to take place a week after the Atlanta meetup, was just suddenly canceled. Kilam followed this with 2 cryptic posts most likely referring to the situation, announcing that he was trimming the fat. No more liabilities, no more leeches, and unfortunately as it would come to pass, no more Gifted Guardians. The Dreamkeepers radio aspect remains until this day, with Kilam running a few episodes with Amir Zahir, before eventually just hosting the show himself. He gets the occasional guest, it's still available on Spotify, and it's probably on Apple Music too, along with all the episodes recorded before the Guardians split. Once again, I can't in good conscience just make an assumption on how this disaster came to an end, but I'll say the crash and burn conclusion was pretty fitting. Kilam still operates by himself to this day, almost exclusively on OnlyFans at this point. I don't really care to cover it. I've done my part showing you his true colors, shady past, and the friends turned foes that helped him along the way. What I do know is that the Guardians' demise wasn't because of them realizing that Kilam was a fraud. Based on the footage we have and how deep everyone's involvement clearly was, it's impossible that they just had some come to Jesus moment this late into the whole thing. I believe it was either a disagreement on how revenues would be split between the different facets of the group that needed funding, travel costs, renting venues, etc., or simply that the four weren't okay with how the profit, if there was any at all, was being split between them. But that's just my guess. To step back for a moment and give a bit of my opinion, it seems that above all else the motivation behind why the Gifted Guardians was founded and why Xander, Mabe, and Zahir all worked with Don Kilam was because I believe they think that they're above the average person. Why should they have to make an honest living? Why should they be subject to taxation? Why should they have to have a driver's license? Why should they have to contribute to society, the government, and the court systems that they themselves use to hide assets, hide their real income, and boost their status as well as their pockets just to pretend to be something that they are not? The concept of sovereignty is something that they want to believe so badly exists. Heck, they've already convinced themselves they're above the law in the first place. It's just oversimplification on top of oversimplification. They were passionate about this. They devoted time and money to its success. They gaslit and manipulated an audience full of people misled by their claims of correcting their status to become sovereign and protect their assets for their families. Then when it all came crashing down, they deleted any trace of their involvement together and pretended like the Gifted Guardians never happened. I'm truly in awe that this scam wasn't discussed more widely until I chose to discuss it here. And with that being said, I just scratched the surface. Maybe I could have made a multi-hour series on this, but these people aren't worth it. It's just not worth wasting the limited time that I have to enjoy the present for the sake of presenting hours and hours of footage. With that being said, everything that I have is linked down, at least temporarily, linked down below for you to check out. If you've seen enough, great. If not, you're free to do what I've done and form your own opinion. I'm not here to convince anyone of anything. Perspective is the key to all of this, but from my perspective, these guys were undoubtedly participating in shady, fraudulent activity, and the amount of plausible deniability I can personally grant to anyone involved is near zero. It's amazing the things people will do for control over others. They'll put financial success, or rather a mirage of financial security, over their families, their friends, their morals, and their reputations. These people are fathers, neighbors, friends, sons, and a whole lot more. They're not unique. There are thousands of people just like them. Lastly, if any of you that were involved in this madness are watching this and think the evidence I have presented resulted in the wrong conclusion, I invite you to get into contact with me and clear the air. I'm hesitant to give any of you a platform, but it's only fair that you get to speak your mind. There are unanswered questions people deserve an explanation for, and I think that an open discussion would benefit not only your conscience, but the court of public opinion, to be completely honest. So let's run it back. The Great Guru Swindle, Part 3, coming very, very soon.